Amara.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Martin for here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamari 4 here once again, here to discuss this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. I know this one is a little bit late, but let me tell y'all. Basically, the work schedule's gotten away, and I need to catch up on some sleep. And plus, I'm trying to get over this little congestion right now, so if I sound a little crazy, you know, pay it up to that. And honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all, at least initially as I start this video, I don't expect this video to be very long. Just because there's so few things that I really want to talk about in this particular episode. And, you know, I got everything pulled up on my little cute tablet here. So, like, there's literally only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. Out of 41 minutes of episode, I have 7 things written down. Oh, okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and start off with this Malik and Bobby and, what's the boy name? Jeffrey situation. First of all, shout out to Jeffrey and Malik who retweeted my videos last week because I told them I am new fans of the both of them just because they give me something to look at on this show. But Malik invites Jeffrey over to say how much he feels about him, how he's so in love, and whatnot, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And Jeffrey's kind of like, I mean, you all right and all, and I have feelings for you, but love is a strong word. And I'm like, oh, Jeffrey, don't tell me that you backtracking. Don't tell me that you're trying to backtrack now. But Jeffrey tells him, oh, I'm in a relationship right now with this. I don't know if he actually told him his name. I don't think he told him his name. But, you know, I'm in a relationship right now, and Malik started asking questions like, you know, is he more feminine than me? And, well, first of all, after he mentions that he's in a relationship, Malik asks, do you love him? And Jeffrey said, yes, I do. I'm like, okay, if you want me to believe, that this Bobby and Jeffrey thing was ever realistic and not just put together on paper, I need to see more of a natural chemistry between the two of them because I don't see it. I really don't see it. And I swear that this does not stem from that whole no fats, no femmes situation that goes on in the community. It has nothing to do with that because I've had my fair share, so I could care less about that, but I don't believe it when I see it on screen, you know? But he talks about how much he loves Bobby, I'm like, But then Malik stole the words right out of my mouth, said, okay, well, if you love him, but yet you own this, what do they call it? It's not the porch. It's not the what is that thing called? Well, whatever it's called, they out there outside having this romantic dinner, but you in love with him, but you here with me. Oh, okay. So, then he talks about he has a gift for him. He gives him this backpack with a speaker in it. I'm like, I mean, I guess. It looked nice or whatever. But then I have to, as much as I was a fan of Malik, I have to give him a quick side eye real quick because when he mentions like, you know, okay, is the dude that you say that you love, like, is he more feminine than me? And then Jeffrey is like, well, yeah, you know, he's more outward, you could say that. And Malik starts going on this whole, well, if you're like attracted to me, like, how can you also be attracted to him? And then he starts going on this tangent about how there's a difference between gay, then punk, and then he drops the F-bomb, which we don't use here, okay? And I'm like, whoa, chill. Because I see what you're trying to say, and I understand, to a degree, the question that you're trying to pose here, But I think what Jeffrey stated later was that none of that stuff should even matter. Like, we like an array of people. Like, we just don't have a type to where, oh, if you like masculine people, then you're only going to like masculine people. If you like feminine people, you're only going to want to date feminine people. And that's just not how this works. It's a spectrum. Everybody just, I say I don't have a type, particularly. If you just happen to have characteristics about you that mesh and complement each other, then that makes you attractive to me. It's not necessarily you have to fit this cookie cutter, mold. And the fact that Malik is like, oh, well, I mean, if he's feminine, but I'm masculine, like, how can you like the both of us? And I'm like, that's such an ignorant thing to say. You lost points, Malik. I still love you, though, but you lost some points for that. But, now, let me tell y'all, do I want to go there today? Do I feel like doing that? Screw it, we're going to do it today. Last week, because it's already going to be short and I want to give y'all some content. Last week, there was this whole hoopla about when, Malik and Jeffrey came on screen. There were these tweets and apparently a lot of things about, mostly coming from other women, interestingly enough, about how they just don't want to see two men on camera. They feel like, oh, my child can come in and see this. What will it have on my child, and this, that, and the fourth. Let me tell you something. First of all, your child should be asleep at this time of night that this show comes on. If they're that young and that impressionable, they should be asleep. Secondly, if this stuff right here is the one thing from Love and Hip Hop, the whole franchise, that you're afraid of, not seeing the examples of men cheating on women, not seeing these women not respecting themselves, not seeing these women spinning around the pole, shaking that ass, none of that bothers you, okay? Mimi had a whole sex tape come out. None of that bothered you about your child seeing it. But God forbid two people who happen to have the same gender show each other more than just a hug and a little affection. God forbid that happen. I tell y'all. And then a lot of people was like, I respect the LGBT community, but I just don't agree with the lifestyle. We were never seeking your approval to begin with, but you know what? Again, I don't want to go on that whole tangent. That was just rather annoying. And I'm just like, but y'all are already instilling seeds of hatred and division, okay, amongst your children at young ages. Why not just have inclusive? Why not just explain there's sometimes their household where there's a man and a woman, there's two women, there's two men. It's just the way that it is because they're going to figure it out eventually. Why not just start it off young? So that annoyed me. So I just had to put that out there real quick. So after he gets in this bag, if they were mad about last week of them kissing in the straight club, they was about to have a full-on session. Well, they ended up having a full-on session. And there was a topic where people were trying to wonder, like, okay, I feel like Jeffrey tops Bobby, but then bottoms for Malik. Honestly, they could be versed. Because it's as much sensitivity that Malik was showing, I just felt like he would have no problem being submissive to Jeffrey. I see a flip-flop happening. I see it. But, things was getting a little hot and heavy, and they just full-on slipped together. So I was just like, oh, okay, well, I had never thought that I would be on the side of cheating. I really don't, and that's so crazy. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead to the next scene with Jeffrey and them. So he's at the crib, and Bobby comes in after a day of work. They kissing or whatever. Sure, bye. And he's like, oh, you have me all to yourself, and we need some, alone time, this, that, and the fourth, and blah, blah, blah. So he goes back into the closet, and he's like, what is this? Where did you get this bag from? And I just so happen to know that this is your ex's material or his product or whatever that he sells, so I know you only got it from him. Why are you still talking to him? I know that's your first love, so that means I gotta keep my eye out on you. This, that, and the four. I'm like, okay, there's some things wrong with this particular. Well, not necessarily wrong, but I have questions. Jeffrey, why did you leave that bag that you know was going to cause conflict out in the open for them to see? You say that you want to, come clean about the fact of what happened, that you slept with another man, but you don't want to do it this way. I mean, maybe it's just because, I think it's just because I don't understand him and Bobby's relationship. Maybe it's because I don't understand it, because that would have been the perfect time to be like, well, so here's what happened. I got some good from somebody who I actually like, and that's it. That would have been the perfect time for me, but I guess he still has feelings for Bobby, so I guess he has to be sensitive, and yeah, try bye. So, Bobby gets upset, and you know what? As much as it pains me to be on the same side as Bobby in any situation, I couldn't be mad at him for feeling the way that he felt, because if you are with somebody and you know that y'all don't get to spend as much time together because of each other's schedules or what have you, and you find out that they're still accepting gifts from their ex, honestly, let me tell you this, you can't, I guess because Bobby knows that Malik is his first love, and he said in the confession that you don't really forget nobody like that, so there's insecurity there. Like, you can tell that Bobby is probably constantly comparing himself to Malik. Now, I don't know how much he knows about Malik, like what he looks like, or how he is, or if he knows anything about him at this point. But I just have a feeling that he's probably comparing himself to him because of the whole feminine thing. And I wonder if that's going to come out, because that's a discussion as well. Like, people feel like, if you've had a more masculine, more, I don't want to say, let's just say that masculinity is put on a pedestal in the community. And if you have somebody who is masculine and you're a feminine person, you're going to feel, inferior. I don't want to say inferior, but they're going to probably choose them over you because of stigmas and, all that bad stuff. So he gets pissed off, and Jeffrey kind of like, you know what, I'm going to let you have your moment. You do whatever you want to do. I'm trying to get you to calm down. But you really, honestly, Jeffrey, come on. Come on. You made this situation what it is. I mean, I don't necessarily blame you for it, because Malik has I feel the chemistry coming from the screen when y'all two are together. I don't see nothing when you and Bobby together. I don't see it. I don't see it. So if you just let him walk out the door, I probably would have called Malik over the very moment that he stepped. You know what? That's not right. That's not right. I'm just being real. I'm just giving my opinion, okay? Because I just don't see it. But whatever. So, let me pull back up my notes. What else do I want to talk about? Okay. Now that I don't let them have it, Veronica, sis, you baffled me this episode. You confused the heck out of me this episode, because when you met up with Amara, and Amara had a problem with you basically bringing young Hollywood, springing him up on her at this thing to try to get an apology, I was lost. I couldn't find the validity in your point where you're trying to call Amara ungrateful. Because if me and you are friends, and I come to you and tell you the horrible things that this person said about me, and naturally, as my friend, you're pissed. You understand where I'm coming from. This, that, and the fourth, blah, blah, blah. But not only do I hear later on that, okay, yeah, you tried to confront him, get an apology, but yet you are potentially flirting with him and trying to be on a date with him. And then when we meet up again, you just decide to bring him and not tell me. and the point of you bringing him was to get an apology face to face. Like, why wouldn't you just let me know, hey, I'm bringing this person? Like, if I, hold on, let me move this out the way. If I had a friend come and tell me some stuff about somebody that they didn't like, if I would not ambush them and just show up with this person that clearly offended my friend, like, that doesn't make any sense. And then she tried to turn it around on Amara, like, you came to my events with your sob story, this, that, and the four. Well, excuse me from trying to be a friend. I'm like, how am I supposed to know that I can't come to you and tell you that somebody disrespected me? Now all of a sudden it's my fault and I'm ungrateful? What am I ungrateful for? That my so-called friend ambushed me with somebody that she know I don't like? Like, what sense does that make, girl? I didn't understand that. So, how is it that Amara's in the wrong for being mad at you for bringing around somebody that you know she doesn't like, who obviously disrespected her, and you call her ungrateful because you tried to get him to apologize, but you saw that he wasn't. I told you this video wasn't gonna be long. I just was confused and baffled by that. I'm sorry. And then with this whole Gunplay and Kiara thing, he walks in, he's confused because they're filming this video. And my whole thing about this situation, I mean, he was confused and turned on at the same time, which, you know, men. But I have to look a little sideways at Kiara, like, okay, you were so adamant about him getting back into these Miami streets, and even when he came to you and told you about what happened with Miami Tip, that he didn't even do anything. But yet now, here you turn around trying to do the same thing to get back at him? That kind of just invalidates your whole point. Like, how you going to be mad at him, but then do the same thing to get him back? That means that y'all both wrong. That means that you ain't no better than he is. Like, okay. That whole situation, everybody who talked about that scene, I guess it was last week, everybody was baffled and confused by that. How she was ready to run up and score up and fight 1 minute, but yet now she says that she flirted. Now all of a sudden it's cool and she's turned on. And now I mean, I guess they're not dating, but I guess I don't know. It was very confusing and baffling to me. Where else am I? What's the last thing I want to talk about here? And then, okay, this is going to be the first time that I actually mention JoJo on the show. And it may be the last time until further notice. I don't care about Prince. I don't care about Shay and Pressure P right now. That whole manipulated storyline about how Shay just so happened to meet up with Liz, who just so happened to get into the situation with Prince about the same girl, and they meet up at this fashion show. Whatever. That was so manufactured you could see it from a mile away. But this whole, I forget the young lady's name with the blue hair, so I'm just gonna call her Blue Hair. So she's supposed doing some performance or whatever, and she's supposed to be having some production with Young Hollywood. Now, JoJo and Veronica are here to support her, and of course Amara didn't show up because she's being petty towards Veronica right now. But Veronica walks in and is looking at Young Hollywood like, why are you here? Like, what's the purpose of you being here with her? And he's like, oh, so you didn't tell us that we're supposed to be working together? And Veronica's like, so you mean to tell me that you sat there and watched me and Amara almost tear each other's heads off over this man, and yet you turn around and work with him yourself? And then Veronica and the Blue Hair are going back in these forums trying to say that, oh, Amara's blowing the whole situation out of proportion. She needs to let it go, this, that, and the fourth, X, Y, and Z. And JoJo is sitting back like, wait a minute. So I'm not really too here for the fact that y'all sitting here bashing this girl behind her back and y'all supposed to be friends. Like, this whole vibe feels fake to me, so I'm gonna leave. I'm like, you know what, JoJo? I might just have something for you yet. You may not be as much of a filler as I thought. But honestly, that was the whole episode. Like, I'm really could care less about this whole Prince, Michelle Pooch, and all that's what they got going on. It's not interesting enough to me. So until they give me something to work with, this is all they get. So thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know what you think. I'm sorry the video was late. Make sure you tune in. Oh, actually, no, I'm not gonna mention that until I have the details together. I'm not gonna mention that until we have the details together. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already with the notification squad. Click on the bell so you'll know whenever the videos go up. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.